Hello, my beautiful friends, my name is Khoreva and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am very excited to start the new series on this channel in which I'm going to tell you my personal opinion about the must-watch ballets. Hopefully we're gonna do many sorts of different categories in this series, and today I'm starting with my most favorite category, to be honest, the category about the tragic dramatic love stories that really touch your soul very, very deeply. And I've always loved these kinds of ballets because they're just really emotional on a different level. So today I chose 5 ballets from the repertoire of the Mariinsky Theatre where I work that are really worth watching and that are really emotional and dramatic. So the first ballet that comes to mind when we talk about tragic love, for me personally, it's Giselle. It's this romantic 2-act ballet that was created in 1841 in Paris, and then the version by Marius Petipa that is now being shown at the Mariinsky Theatre was created in 1884 at the Mariinsky Theatre. And yeah, so the music is by Adolphe Adam. And this is a very, very dramatic and tragic story about a peasant girl called Giselle. She falls in love with Count Albrecht, but she does not know that he's a nobleman. She knows that it's just a peasant like her because Albrecht hides behind the peasant clothes, and he lies to Giselle. And actually he's about to get married with another noble woman, and Giselle finds out about this. And she has a weak heart, she has a weak mind, she's a very, very weak and honest and genuine girl, and she cannot cope with this grief, she cannot cope with these bad news about Albrecht, the love of her life, getting married and loving another woman, and she dies of shock. And then in the second act, which is a totally different atmosphere, Giselle, she still loves Albrecht, and she becomes a Willy, which is a girl, a fantastic creature, a girl that was that died before getting married. And the Wheelies, she joins the Wheelies that are being active during the night, and that should kill everyone with dancing. So they meet a stranger and they dance him to death. So they are about to dance Albrecht, who comes to Giselle's grave. They are about to dance him to death as well, but Giselle dances together with him in the second act, and she manages to dance with him till the night is over, until there are the first signs of dawn, and then Willis disappear and Albert leaves. So it's a very, very dramatic story of a true love and true sacrifice, because Giselle is dead, she's a Willy, but she still saves Albrecht. And of course, what is really dramatic about this ballet is the mad scene in the first act, where Giselle finds out about Albrecht cheating and his love not being true. And her weak heart, it just cannot cope with this. It cannot, it really suffers, and she gets into these delusions, she gets into these hallucinations, and she cannot find a place in this world for herself anymore. So this is a really dramatic and really heartbreaking scene where the ballerina lets her hair down, and first she dances. Giselle loves to dance, and it is the thing that she loves doing the most in her life, and she gets so much joy from dancing, and she gets so much joy and true happy emotions from loving Albrecht. But then she finds out about that it was all not true, and she is truly devastated. So yeah, the first act is ending with the mad scene, and then the second act is absolutely ethereal, and we see Giselle joining these evil creatures, joining these ladies that are about to revenge, that are really evil because they died of an unhappy love, and we can expect from her that she will become evil as well, but she does not. She's still her true, genuine, and kind self, and she still saves the man who basically was at the fault for killing her. So that is really heartbreaking, and this is one of the most tragic stories in ballets, but it still lives like a positive final because Albrecht leaves and he's now a totally different person, which is amazing and wonderful. And Giselle is one of the most beautiful ballets out there, really. The second ballet about the tragic love, and my most favorite ballet to watch and to dance, is La Bayadere. And it is an incredibly touching story about the love of a temple dancer, Bayadere Nikia, and the warrior, the hunter Solor. So they are not meant to be together, but they still love each other very, very, very much. And Nikia, again, she just lives for this love. She just finds the meaning of her life in this love to Solor. And Solor also loves her a lot. But then there's this Raja's daughter, Gemzati. And Raja decided to marry Gemzati to Solor. And he organizes the wedding. But then he found out that Solor loves Nikia and that he swore his love to her on the sacred fire near the temple. And then Gemzati decides to kill Nikia. And first there's this really, really dramatic scene of Gemzati and Nikia talking. So Gemzati asks Nikia to come to her palace. And then she tells her that... Gemzati tells Nikia that she's about to get married to Solor and that he's gonna be her husband, because it's meant to be, because the temple dancer is not supposed to be together with the great warrior, but Raja's daughter, she is meant to be together, and it is a rightful marriage, and it is supposed to be like this. So Gemzati tells Nikia that she's about to get married, but Nikia refuses to let Solor get married, and then in this great rage and in this great devastation again, she does not believe Gemzati at first, but then she realizes that it is true, and she sees the knife and she grabs the knife, and she's about, like, in this total, like, almost delusion and in this total rage and total really, really mixed emotions. She's just, forgetting herself and about to kill the person that is so much higher than her. And then the servant stops her from killing Gemzati, and she runs away. But then Gemzati decides to, with this gesture that you can see on the screen right here, with this very powerful gesture, Gemzati decides that she's gonna demolish Nikia. She's gonna kill her, basically. And then Solor is kind of a weak character here because he cannot do anything about, he's about to get married with Gemzati and he does not do anything about it. He's like almost happy to marry her, and he almost forgets about his life to Nikia, his love to Nikia. So the second act is the most dramatic act in this ballet because there's this really, really huge wedding of Solor and Gemzati, and it's colorful, it's bright, and it has all sorts of different beautiful dances. And it has the pas de deux, the grandpa of Solor and Gemzati, and it is the celebration of life. But then Gemzati actually asks Nikia to come to dance at her wedding with Solor to make it, more dramatic for her. And Gemzati and her father, they have a plan to kill Nikia during her dance at the wedding. So they give her a basket with the flowers and they put a very, very poisonous snake inside it. And when Nikia dances, She moves the basket and it wakes the snake up, and then the snake bites her and Nikia is about to die. So yeah, this dance, this monologue of Nikia, she comes to the wedding to dance and she sees that the love of her life is about to get married to another woman. And can you imagine like coming to this wedding to dance? Like, it is really, really devastating, and the choreography is beautiful. And the music by Ludwig Minkus is really also very, very emotional in this ballet. And some people tell that Minkus did not write very emotional and very beautiful music. He only wrote music for like conventional music for ballets, but I do not agree, because his music is really telling me, at least, all about the emotions of Nikia at this moment. So first Nikia starts with the slow dance, and with the dance that really expresses her soul and expresses her grief and sadness and true sadness. But then the servant tells her that the basket with the flowers is from Solor, and she gets this hope. She starts hoping that Solor still loves her and he's gonna make something up, and he's gonna, still love her in some way. And she starts getting a little bit happier, although still really, really devastated. And then she starts her fast dance with the basket, which is a fatal moment, because when she starts dancing, it's everyone knows that she's gonna wake the snake. So yeah, then the snake bites her and she realizes that Gamzati killed her, basically. So then she dies and she refuses the antidote to the snake's poison, because she realizes that Solor was taken and she lost his love, which is again a heartbreaking moment. And then the third act is the famous and the most gorgeous piece of ballet choreography. It's the Kingdom of Shades, where Nikia becomes the shade, and then Solor is dreaming with opium, smoking opium, and in his dream he gets to the Kingdom of Shades and he sees Nikia, and he's really feeling guilty because she died, and he's feeling guilty for that. And so he meets Nikia in her dream, and then they dance together, and then Solor leaves this world and is being left. He goes away to the Kingdom of Shades and stays there with Nikia. So that's the ending of this ballet. I know in different versions of this ballet, and in the original actual version, there was the fourth act in which Solor, after seeing the Kingdom of Shades, he was getting married in a temple to Gamzati, and then the temple was being destroyed because of Solor not being true to his love and not being true to him swearing his love to Nikia. So that was like the doom of gods. But in my opinion, the ending with the Kingdom of Shades is much more powerful and much more, it leaves the ending open to interpretation, which is, in my opinion, really emotional and adds to the drama. So Bayadere, as you can tell, because I've been really, really speaking a lot about this ballet right now, Bayadere is one of my favorites, and it is a must-see. If you were to ask me which ballet to see, like if you were just only able to watch one ballet from the full repertoire, I would tell you to watch Bayadere for sure, because it's an unforgettable experience. So of course we cannot talk about the tragic love ballets without mentioning Romeo and Juliet. Everyone knows the plot, the story of Romeo and Juliet, but the ballet, composed by Sergei Prokofiev and choreographed by Leonid Lavrovsky, is one of the most iconic ballets out there, in my opinion. It was created in 1940 and premiered at the Mariinsky Theatre, and it is gorgeous. It really conveys the drama, and it was created during the era of dramatic we call it dramballet in Russian, drama ballets, which were not so much about the technique, not so much about showing the skills, but more so about the true drama and the true story. So it was created in this style, and it is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece in 3 acts. And of course, we have the balcony pas de deux, which is iconic. Of course, then we have the iconic bedroom pas de deux, and we just have so many heartbreaking scenes. The scene of Mercutio dying and then Romeo revenging him and killing Tybalt. We have the first meeting of Juliet and Romeo at the ball, which is really choreographed beautifully. The balcony pas de deux with the gorgeous music. We have the dance of the knights, the iconic this dum pa dum pa dum pa dum pa. Sorry for my bad singing, but this music gives me shivers every time. And you know, it is just the true example of music being absolutely in synchronization with the choreography and with the story. And it just creates this effect that whenever I watch Romeo and Juliet and the Mariinsky, I cry every time because it's that powerful for me. And also there's this really, cheering you up moment when Romeo finds out that Juliet, he thinks she's dead, but she's not dead, she's sleeping, but he does not know that. And then he takes the poison, and then in the Mariinsky version, there are these stairs that lead up to Juliet's, the place where she lies without breath or sleeping or dead, what Romeo thinks. And Romeo stands at the top of these stairs, and then he takes the poison, he kisses Juliet goodbye, and then he falls onto these stairs, so back. I think you can see this scene right now somewhere here. Hopefully I can edit this. So yeah, and then he falls back, and all of the dancers are really, really so honest and genuine at this point, and they really want to tell the story, the true story, that they fall through like they're dying. And I cannot watch this moment because I can imagine how painful it is to fall onto the stairs, but it's the part of the story and it creates such a dramatic effect. So it's, physically and psychologically painful scene to watch, but it's really so touching. And then Juliet, when she finds out that Romeo is lying dead underneath the stairs, she shouts, and this is one of the unique scenes in classical ballets because she has to open her mouth and imitate shouting. And it is a dramatic moment for a ballerina, and then she dies as well. So yeah, this ballet is a lot about acting and is a lot about living through this story, and it is a priceless one, of course. The 4th ballet about the tragic love is La Sylphide, and it's another romantic ballet which tells us a story about the spirit of the air, Sylphide. She falls in love with James, a young Scotsman, but James is about to marry Effie. But Sylphide comes to him again and again and again, and eventually he falls in love with her as well, and he comes to see her at the forest. But in the meantime, the old and evil witch Madge, she makes a scarf with the evil spell in her cauldron because she wants to kill Sylphide. And Sylphide is beautiful, Sylphide is joyful, and James is very happy to be with her. But the one thing is missing in their relationship is he cannot touch her. And she is always flying away when he's about to touch her, and she cannot stay with him. So then Madge gives James the scarf, and she tells him that with this scarf he can ground Sylphide and he can finally touch her, and she will stay with him. But this scarf would actually kill Sylphide. And then James is really happy with the scarf, and he covers Sylphide with it, but then she did this joyful and this bright spirit of air loses her wings and she dies, because she was meant to just stay the spirit and she was not meant to be grounded on this earth, in this world. So she's from another world. So yeah, so Sylphide dies and James is of course devastated. And this is basically a ballet about like killing happiness and about trying to chase something, trying to get something so badly that you kill it. And Sylphide is being so joyful and so carefree and so pure in her love, but then she's being killed by the man's desire. So it is painful to watch, but it is still very beautiful. So again, it's really a must-see. And last but definitely not least is The Legend of Love. This incredibly beautiful ballet and a unique ballet. It is a little bit different from all of the ballets that we've talked about before. It was created in 1961 by Yuri Gregorovich on the music of Arif Melikov and with the libretto of Nazim Hikmet. And it is a story about the East. It is a story about the tragic love of Queen Mehmene Banu and her love to the artist Ferhad. And so yeah, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the story of this ballet. So there's this queen, gorgeous Mehmene Banu, but her sister, Princess Shireen, is very, very ill and she's about to die. And Queen is experiencing real sorrow and she does not know what to do. And she asks all of the doctors and all of the magicians. And there comes this man, this weird man in white clothing, and he tells the queen that there's no way to save Shireen other than to give Queen's beauty, to sacrifice Queen's beauty to heal the little princess. And of course the queen hesitates because she's beautiful and she values her beauty, and it is a very crucial thing for her, of course. But then she sacrifices her beauty to save her sister. And that is the very beginning of the ballet. But then artist Ferhad, Mehmene Banu falls in love with him, but he of course cannot fall in love with her because she is now very ugly. And he falls in love with Princess Shireen, and Shireen falls in love with him, and they are totally in love, two young people in love and just being happy. But then Mehmene Banu finds out about this and she chases both of them and she makes Ferhad dig the mountain, because at the exact same time the source of water was not giving water anymore, and the country, the people were suffering because they didn't have enough water. And she makes Ferhad because she loves him, but she does not want to them and Shireen being together. She makes him dig the mountain to find the other source of water. So then there's this really dramatic monologue of Mehmene Banu, of her suffering from her love, but she cannot do anything about it because she sacrificed her beauty to save her sister. And she's really thinking whether she can live with this, whether she can let this love be, or what she should do. And the music is really expressing her feelings very, very well. And the set design, which was made by Simon Virsaladze, is unique. And the costumes, of course, are iconic, and you can see some of the examples of the costumes on the screen right now, and the examples of the set design as well. So yeah, there's this dramatic monologue of Mehmene Banu, the beautiful adagio of Ferhad and Shireen being totally in love, and adagio with unique lifts, and the choreography of Grigorovich is tricky to perform, but it's really beautiful and unique. And then there's this vision of Mehmene Banu when Ferhad comes to her in a crown and he loves her in this vision. And again, it's heartbreaking to watch because we know that it will never happen. And then the ballet ends at a place where Ferhat realizes that it is his duty. He has to continue digging the mountain to give the people water. So he realizes that he has to stay there, even though of course he loves Shireen and he wants to be with her, but it is still his duty to do everything that he can to continue digging and to hopefully bring water to people. And as many creations of the Soviet period, it leaves us with an open final, and the final that is open to interpretation. And I love it about this ballet because, you know, it leaves people thinking, it leaves people experiencing these emotions for longer maybe. So it is really a beautiful ballet to watch, and the role of Ferhat is also really dramatic in this ballet. The role of Shireen is beautiful and also dramatic because she has to, you know, beg Mehmet Banu, and of course the iconic role of Mehmet Banu with all of the thoughts, and she is really powerful, but she's still loving and caring, and she suffers. So yeah, it is the ballet that is, as far as I'm concerned, is only performed at the Mariinsky Theatre and at the Bolshoi Theatre right now at this moment. Maybe I'm wrong, so I will check this later and maybe write on the screen if I'm right or wrong. But anyway, it is a unique ballet, and if you ever have a chance to see it, to watch it, please do, because it's wonderful, and it's gonna leave you maybe not crying, but like really thinking and really experiencing this with the dancers. So guys, that was it for today. Let me know what is your favorite tragic love ballet, and if you do love tragic love stories in ballet art. And let me also know what are your favorite performers of your favorite tragic love ballet, and let's discuss in the comments because I really love hearing back from you. So guys, also please let me know and write down what other categories you want to see in this series, and let me know if you like this series or not, and if it's useful or not. Hopefully it is, and hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, to see more ballet related content. And always wishing you guys to stay happy and healthy and to stay inspired, and love you guys so much, and we'll see you in my next videos. Bye bye.